What is an addiction that the world is just okay with? Phone addictions when it's parents instead of kids. True. I'm a new parent and currently trying to fight my addiction to my phone. I never realized how bad it had gotten till recently. Shopping. Dealt with this a few years back. Probably because I started getting some fine lines and I thought expensive makeup and new clothes would make me feel better. Yeah, it didn't. Just added some stress to my life and relationship because of money stuff. Don't fall for this easy trap, ladies and gents. I know the pressure is big, but it's really okay and quite normal to age. My mom died of pancreatic cancer right before her 53rd birthday. 2 years later, I got breast cancer at 37. Losing my mom at such a young age and then having my own life threatened in a similar way was a paradigm shift. My most recent birthday was a different experience because instead of a damn, I'm getting older, my skin isn't so supple, I have laugh lines, my body is worn down, etc. I saw the passing of time as a gift because I'm surviving. I get to age. Not everyone does. I'm getting to see my kids grow up and they get to see me age. My 12-year-old grew taller than me this summer, granted. I'm short and I'm just so lucky I get to be here for it. More gray hairs mean more time with my kids. More laugh lines mean more joy with them. I know that very old age won't be kind to me. I also have lupus. But for now I take the signs of aging almost like markers in a marathon or like milestones. I've made it to 38, I'm hoping to make it to 39. Ambien. I work as a pharmacist and it blows my mind that so many prescribers write for it too often. It's got to be one of the most incorrectly prescribed medications out there. To stop taking it is a rough process, weeks of little to no sleep until your body figures out how to sleep again. My grandma took that once. She said she woke up to find that she had broken some glasses in the kitchen, somehow not cutting herself, thankfully, and had injuries to indicate she had fallen pretty hard at some point. She's not sure if she stayed in the house or not, or how she got back to bed. That stuff is awful. She said never again will she take it. Sips energy drink, video games, hits vape. It amazes me how literally every single reply completely missed the point of your comment, not realizing that it's satirizing people who are addicted to vapes, energy drinks, but don't realize that they are much more crippling addictions than video games. The need for social validation. I've seen it happen too. So many people, where their lives turn an obsession of acting or looking perfect, only to crave the attention of total stranger on social media. Like, no, you don't need to post every 2 seconds to feel that you're worth love. 24-hour news cycles. It's bad because it gives the veneer of being informed without actually being informed. You know the broad strokes and the players, and who said did what. But it's all presented in an entertaining way, so you keep on watching, and you're not actually informed. There are studies done that people that consume their news that way passively, mind you, are less informed on the whole. A lot of buzzwords or phrases that mean something to the audience, but don't actually represent the story. It's caused a lot of problems. Politics isn't sports or meaningless. Being informed and thinking about nuance, or being able to listen to the other side rather than some caricature of it, is important in a democracy. And yet we are raising people to hate the other side, to become further polarized, to treat politics as a game, and all the while making sure our voters are less informed on the whole. It's dangerous. Overeating. Yeah. Though this is in large part due to eating foods that don't make you feel full, especially highly processed foods. Vegetables are really good for this, cause you start to feel full when you actually are full. Plus they also have lots of vitamins. Water is dope too. It's hard to drink it when you're not thirsty, but my trick was to eat unsalted roasted peanuts to dry my mouth out, then chug some water. You feel full. I did that throughout the day, then had a nice dinner in the evening. Kind of like intermittent fasting, the only exception was peanuts. Went from 220 down to 175 recently from that walking nightly. I think a lot more people are addicted to alcohol than we care to admit. Took me far too long to understand the joke, what's an alcoholic? Someone who drinks more than their doctor. Sugar. It's a serious problem. If you don't believe me, look at all of the things in your pantry and see how much you eat in a serving and compare it to the recommended daily sugar intake. Didn't realize this until I was diagnosed pre-diabetic and tried to cut it out. It's in freaking everything. Outage. Being mad about really stupid things. Just for the sake of being mad. Editors many have pointed out. I misspelled outrage LOL. Hopefully this edit calms some of the outrage I've caused with my egregious typo. There have been a few studies that have shown how outrage basically has the hallmarks of addiction, and it certainly is not healthy for the person or for a society that is being built to feed people more outrage because it sells. This explains why it's so prevalent on social media. Sugar. I've told this story before, but I had a boss who was Mormon. He came to my store one day to get to know me, and he wanted to tell me about the Church of LDS. He starts off with, well, we can't have anything addictive such as alcohol, porn, caffeine. Yes, porn was the second thing he said. He knew I eat low carb and avoid sugars. So when I moved my gaze to the sweet tarts in his hand, he followed it. Then we both just kind of awkwardly laughed. Dude was constantly eating candy and was the most addicted to sugar of anyone I had ever seen. I live in Utah and it's hilarious how people shit on coffee, but will go to these soda shops so delicious to get an energy drink with added sugar flavoring twice a day. Work. I know some people that straight up can't imagine their life where they don't put aside everything for their job as their culture has told them they are only worth something while they are earning money. It can get unhealthy very fast. No kidding. Skipping out on physical and mental well-being, ignoring relationships, eating like shit, and not sleeping enough just to make an extra buck. Not worth it. Consumerism. It's good to keep on buying for the economy, so they actually promote it. This is a pet peeve of mine. Instead of fixing things, people just purchase new because it's old. I always respond, so, on the flip side of that coin, items are so cheaply manufactured these days. A lot of items are no longer built to be repaired because they are outfitted with plastic parts. Forced obsolescence. They design products to last a short time, to force you to keep buying new stuff. They fight to prevent you from being able to repair it, because if you repair it, you don't buy a new one. Social media. This might be too recent to have caused real waves, but I'm pretty sure that in a couple of years you'll have to accept the consequences every time you log in. A few years later, social media sites will all have to have standard khaki packs sites and big bold horrifying message everywhere. I really believe that in a few years, social media login pages will have warnings like cigarette packs in Canada, warning the use of these sites has been linked to depression, anxiety, insomnia. Please enter at your risk, or something to that effect. Internet. There are a lot of people, me included, who are so used to being able to be online 24/7 where even a day without internet is going to be a rough time. It's pretty difficult to function in the modern world without an internet connection today. This is like arguing that people became addicted to books after Gutenberg invented his press. Alcohol. Honestly, it's so ingrained in British culture and the world at large, but it's almost reached a protected status. You're treated like a weirdo if you just don't want to drink. I agree. On Reddit a few months ago, I said a comment on a UK subreddit along the lines of not many people are aware that needing a drink every day after work is an addiction, and someone commented that I did not know how bad life is. I'm writing this drunk. Life ducking sucks. I feel like a shit person every day. Alcohol does nothing to fix it. It's just justified in action. UK drinking culture is horrific. Porn. I had to scroll down this far for this. The fact it's so far down shows how much the general public is okay with it. Billie Eilish came out and said she was addicted since she was 11 or 12, and it seemed like barely anyone bat an eye. Cocaine for rich people. Where can I find the cocaine for poor people? Can't believe how deep I went and didn't see booze. The mommy wine crowd. The daily pub stop for 2 or 3. The people who drink a cocktail or 2 and half a bottle of wine practically every night. I know so many functioning alcoholics, it is mind-boggling. Nicotine products. On day 4 of quitting vaping right now. It's been hell. I pretty much vape non-stop for the past 10 years. I would wake and vape. Last thing I did before closing eyes and going to sleep. All day every day. Woo. Was like those movies when people quit heroin. I was dry heaving in the toilet. Shaking. Crying. Grrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr 4 push-ups. YouTube. I think it's great, but I don't imagine life without it. My other half mostly watches YouTube. Doesn't really watch Netflix or anything. You don't pay for it, so I can't see the issue if that's where someone gets their entertainment from. This'll probably get downvoted, but marijuana, although it may not cause deaths directly and is good for some medicinal purposes, some people take it too far and let it interfere with their lives. Even as a fellow stoner, I agree. It's still a drug, nonetheless, and it makes you feel good. So even though it's starting to earn the reputation of being a good medicine, it's also very possible to take it too far. Just because it's healthier than alcohol and can be a good medicine to some people doesn't mean that you can't develop an addiction to it. My brother-in-law just killed himself while on Ambien. You see the side effect of suicidal thoughts and assume that's only for people who are depressed or already have suicidal tendencies. My brother-in-law was the least suicidal person I've known. His whole world was taking care of my sister and his kids, and he just woke up one morning after not really sleeping much, even though he took Ambien, got his gun, drove to a park and shot himself. My sister and her kids have no income and are now trying to scrape by without losing the house. There's no way in hell he intended to do it. He'd been on Ambien for 7 years and was starting to worry about memory loss and missing time, so he was trying to wean himself off. I tell everyone I know, if you're someone you love is taking Ambien, find a safe way to stop. Honestly surprised weed isn't up there. Yes, it can be great for so many reasons, but is also an addictive substance, and so many younger people are fully dependent on it. I'm a week sober, and it is ducking rough. Been a chronic stoner for the past 10 years. I actually want it this time though, so I think I can actually do it. Apparently fentanyl. No one's doing anything properly to deal with it. Over here where I live, the ghettos, they have billboards that advertise the danger of fentanyl and to contact the police or a specialist. They have a phone number below it and a website, so people call right up on it. Supposedly they give out Narcan shots, no questions asked, at pharmacies around where I live, so opiate users have them on hand in case someone overdoses. Crazy, but I'm glad they are trying to save lives. Wine moms. Alcohol addiction is only okay if it comes with a wink and a cute as E tagline about children being hard work. Bonus points if there's a selfie including a messy house, because life comes first. Eater or alive. Laugh. Love sign. Wealth addiction. A lot of people believe, and are actively encouraged to think, that the little numbers in their bank account are the be all end all of existence and they should constantly strive for more.